How do we make the world a better place? We need to look to the future, to search for sound solutions, to create sustainable practices, to embrace emerging energy. How important is it to spread the word about energy conservation? For the whole month of December, the country is celebrating National Energy Consciousness Month to amplify conversations on efficient use of energy and to get everyone on board the government's action plan. I'm your host, Antoinette Toss. Welcome to Emerging Energy, a program that focuses on the energy sector and the impact on conserving energy on a better future for all. While the rest of the country is in the middle of enjoying the holidays, the Department of Energy is focused on leading activities for National Energy Consciousness Month. That also coincides with DOE's anniversary. The department is mandated to prepare, integrate, coordinate, supervise, and control all plans, programs, projects, and activities of the government relative to energy exploration, development, utilization, distribution, and conservation. This aligns with the Energy Efficiency and Conservation Act that aims to institutionalize energy efficiency and conservation as a national way of life. To talk more about the National Energy Consciousness Month, we are joined by none other than our resident expert, DOE's Energy Utilization Management Bureau Director, Patrick Aquino. Happy holidays, Director Patrick.
Happy holidays, Tony, and it's amazing we've reached the 12-month period.
I know, and it's so wonderful to have had these discussions with you all year long. And now, could you give our audience a brief background on the National Energy Consciousness Month and how this can be more meaningful to every Filipino?
Well, the National Energy Consciousness Month is a proclamation made during the time of then President Arroyo, which institutionalizes and really encourages the public to be more aware about topics on energy. It's really on conservation, focusing on all of the options available for our public. Whether it's on renewable energy, making efficient choices, empowering the consumers. The Energy Consciousness Month is really elevating the discourse for every Filipino to know their choices, their options in making those smart decisions when it comes to, energy.
So the NECM focuses on energy efficiency and conservation and sustainable energy practices among Filipinos and how they can be adopted by a normal Filipino citizen like me. Now, what are the activities that the DOE has been conducting for the past years when celebrating the NECM?
Typically, an NECM event, of course, involves not only the energy family here in DOE. We've also done this program, for example, Emerging Energy, wherein we reach out and talk to the public, doing information education campaigns. We have workshops, we have seminars. It also shows our highlights towards our private sector partners. We have two activities along those lines. Our annual Energy Investment Forum happens also every December. And more recently, we have the Energy Efficiency Excellence Awards, wherein we showcase, of course, the best practices, whether it's for individuals, corporations, and even government entities towards their journey towards energy efficiency and conservation.
Thank you so much, Director Patrick, to you and, of course, to the DOE for really making this a more inclusive pathway forward for us all. And you mentioned a specific activity that was being conducted annually. Can you tell us more about the Energy Efficiency Excellence Awards and what is the purpose of this wonderful activity?
Well, the purpose of the Energy Efficiency Awards is actually twofold. One is we recognize the exemplary practices, again, of individuals, corporations, as well as government entities for energy efficiency. We also take this opportunity also to showcase and tell the public to emulate these particular individuals and corporations as they practice the best practices when it comes to energy efficiency and conservation. It also allows us to showcase and point the public towards the more energy efficient products, more energy efficient practices. Incidentally, the winners of our EEE Awards also goes to be the nominees for the Association of Southeast Asian Nation Energy Awards.
That's amazing.
If you may ask, well, last year we received more than 300 entries,
Wow.
And out of which we had 24 And fortunately for this year's ASEAN Energy Awards, we have 4 winners coming from the Philippines, which is the highest. So this allows us to showcase, benchmark, and show the public and the rest of the world that when it comes to energy efficiency and conservation, the sustainability equation, the Philippines is at the forefront.
Thank you so much, Director Patrick, for sharing this wonderful and inspiring news. Up next, we'll talk more about the transition of the Philippines to becoming an energy efficient, resilient, and sustainable country. You're still watching Emerging Energy only on CNN Philippines.
We'll be seeing DOE work towards implementing the National Energy Efficiency and Conservation Plan and Roadmap 2023-2050.
Much has been said about transitioning to energy efficient, resilient, and sustainable energy sources. To tackle more about the challenges the country is facing with regards to shifting to cleaner energy, we are still joined by our resident expert, Director Patrick Aquino. Now, Director Patrick, the energy sector plays a crucial role in achieving sustainability goals. Now, what specific initiatives or programs are being implemented to promote clean and renewable energy sources, reduce greenhouse gas emissions, and enhance energy efficiency across various sectors?
Well, when it comes to renewable energy, the National Renewable Energy Plan 2020-2040 outlines our ambitious targets to reach a 35% share of renewable energy by 2030 and more than 50% by 2040. So this is being pursued through a lot of mechanisms. You have our offshore wind, we have our expanded solar rooftop program, and of course, even on the side of government, there's a directive now encouraging government buildings and facilities to install renewable energy up to 20% of their demand. So when it comes to the supply side, the focus, of course, is to have more renewable energy in the mix. Now for demand, of course, on energy efficiency, you'll be seeing DOE work towards implementing the National Energy Efficiency and Conservation Plan and Roadmap 2023-2050, wherein there's a greater emphasis on making more energy-efficient products available to the market, pushing our private sector partners for more energy management system implementation, and more importantly for the consumers, we'll be having a demand-side management program. We'll be tweaking that DSM program in the coming months so that the choice, the power in terms of managing your demand really goes to the consumers.
Thank you so much for sharing these wonderful actions forward. And Director Patrick, transitioning to an energy efficient, resilient, and sustainable Philippines requires the active participation and engagement of various stakeholders, as you mentioned. Now, how is the DOE collaborating with local government units, private sector, and various organizations to foster partnerships and foster a more sustainable energy landscape?
Well, for our private sector partners, we do recognition programs, meaning the Energy Efficiency Excellence Awards. That's one way. There's also the lever in terms of fiscal incentives. Recently, our colleagues from the Board of Investment have updated their memorandum circular wherein self-financed renewable energy projects are qualified for energy efficiency, meaning there's access for fiscal incentives to the extent of 50% income tax holiday. And then on the other side of the equation, for the government sector, we have our push for the Government Energy Management Program, empowering our local government unit colleagues so that they'll be at the forefront of encouraging our citizenry by engaging through information education campaign or enforcing actual regulations when it comes to renewable energy and energy efficiency, like the guidelines on energy conserving design of buildings. So we'll be using a whole of government approach. And then just recently, of course, we also have the push for the transport sector to decarbonize, to electrify. No less than President Marcos has indicated that he'd like to see the most ambitious targets to have at least 50% of electric vehicles on Philippine roads by 2050. So it will require all of our support. Rest assured, of course, on the part of government, all of the necessary mechanisms, whether it's fiscal or non-fiscal, are being deployed so that the energy transition, whether it's for households, businesses, and the transport sector, and even government, we're able to achieve those targets.
Thank you so much, Director Patrick. We'll talk more about energy efficiency and conservation when we return. Keep it right here on Emerging Energy, only on CNN Philippines.
Well, for 2024, of course, our commitment is always to continue the quality of service that we have provided.
The Department of Energy has tapped every sector, from commercial, industrial, and even the government, to integrate energy efficiency and conservation in their operations, as well as audit how much each sector is using or saving. To discuss more about the ongoing efforts of the DOE, we are still joined by our resident expert, Director Patrick Aquino. Now, it's been an outstanding year for the DOE and for the entire energy sector, that is. What are the things that our fellow Filipinos should expect from the agency in the upcoming years?
Well, for 2024, of course, our commitment is always to continue the quality of service that we have provided.
Of course.
We want to ensure that there's sufficient and reliable energy for all of us, expand energy access. And then in terms of consumer empowerment, we're also focusing and providing our public more information, whether it's on more appliances having the energy labels under the Philippine Energy Labeling Program. We are poised to roll out the Vehicle Fuel Economy Labeling Program. Of course, in terms of providing more choices for residences, you will have the expanded solar rooftop program, the revisions to our net metering program, and as I mentioned, the demand-side management reforms towards the goal, of course, of the current administration under the Philippine Development Plan, ambition natin, of providing a comfortable life for every Filipino.
Thank you so much, Director Patrick, and thank you to the Department of Energy. And before we let you go, it is now time to play our emoji game. And of course, for the information of our viewers, since it's the two of us today, for the first time, I'll be joining the emoji game. And of course, so that you know, these paddle boards actually correspond to different emotions, and we're gonna hold up the emotion that we feel based on a statement or question that I mentioned. All right, Director Patrick, here are your paddle boards. First statement. How satisfied are you with the progress of the EEC in the country? Director Patrick, please go ahead.
Well, it's in the mindset of every Filipino, with programs like this, and people are actually choosing more efficient products. You're having those conversations even when you're purchasing an appliance and later on even vehicles that, hey, is this the most cost efficient? Is this the most energy efficient? And that's really something that the DOE would want most of our choices to be guided by.
I completely agree. I'm really excited because not only have I learned so much more from emerging energy, I've actually been able to apply it to my own life. Here we go. How do you feel about the awareness of Filipinos when it comes to consuming energy? Talagang dalawa yung sa akin. Director Patrick, why the neutral face?
Well, there's still a lot of things that we need to tell the Filipino people. The real metric by which we're successful in our communication is that the Filipinos are really empowered, meaning they make the intelligent choices, whether it's on more energy efficient products, choosing the renewable energy sources, and being energy sustainable altogether. Those are the things that we'd like to see, and we're not yet quite there.
Thank you, Director Patrick. Actually, that's why I have two emotions. So the happy one is because I really am inspired and motivated by people that are really leading this movement forward. And neutral, of course, actually neutral more for the ones that already know that waste is waste, however you look at it. So let's not waste energy no matter what and try to stay on this path together. All right, here we go. How satisfied are you with the acceptance of Filipinos with some of the DOE's initiatives, including electric vehicles, PELP, DEs, net metering, and renewable energy? Director Patrick, why neutral?
Just the case for electric vehicles, there's still people who have a lot of misconceptions when it comes to electric vehicles. There's a lot of things that we still need to address. So more communication is needed. But suffice to say, of course, our focus is really on encouraging. Electric vehicles are the future. It allows us to decarbonize our transport sector, and it allows us to use our renewable energy sources to power our transport.
Of course, we celebrate every milestone. Everything is a journey, but more than anything, we are together in this journey. Thank you so much for joining us again for our emoji game, Director Patrick. And we are truly grateful that you have not just joined us, but guided us and led us forward for all of our episodes since the beginning of the year. Right now, for this episode, what is your key message to our viewers?
Well, in time for the National Energy Consciousness Month, the emphasis really is on empowerment. And we'd always remind the public, the Filipino public listening, tuning into the program, that you have the power. Energy efficiency starts with you.
You have the power. Energy efficiency starts with you. Very powerful indeed. Thank you so much, Director Patrick. Let us also hear from Energy Secretary Rafael Lotilla on how every Filipino can be a part of the government's initiative on making energy efficiency and conservation as the nation's way of life.
A pleasant day to our viewers. First, I wish to thank everyone who watched the past 9 episodes of the Emerging Energy series. This partnership series between the Department of Energy and CNN Philippines has demonstrated the inseparable link between energy efficiency and conservation practices, initiatives, policies, and effective information dissemination.
Energy efficiency and conservation is a key policy solution to high energy costs, energy security, and the threat of climate change. You will recall that the passage of Republic Act number 11285, or the Energy Efficiency and Conservation Act in 2019, established a framework to institutionalize fundamental policies on EEC, promote the efficient and judicious use of all energy resources, and increase the use of energy efficient and renewable energy technologies. We are all aware that the responsible and mindful use of energy is not only our responsibility to ourselves and the country, but it is a global advocacy. The DOE, through the Interagency Committee, has issued various resolutions to reduce consumption of electricity and fuel by at least 10%, consistent with the Government Energy Management Program. We see you as our allies in repeating the message and in making sure that the necessary steps are taken to reduce or to have a more judicious use of energy. Sustainable consumption patterns are the new realizations. They begin with the small things that we do, and at the end, we achieve the bigger goals.
In celebration with the National Energy Consciousness Month, we are closing this last episode by inviting every household and every Filipino to join the movement for energy and efficiency and conservation and make it as a way of life. Always remember, we have the power because energy efficiency starts with every one of us.
The year 2023 has been a meaningful year for everyone. We have witnessed DOE's strengthened initiatives and programs geared towards energy efficiency and conservation. Now let's take a look back on the past 9 episodes of Emerging Energy and how it has impacted the energy sector.
People now sort of understand, okay, climate change is happening, these are the impacts and what we can do. And we're very, very grateful and honored that Filipinos have taken this movement. So we hope to replicate that in the next Earth Hours that we are actually doing.
This is our responsibility for the consumers, especially the Mother Earth, to level up our research and development and invest on more efficient technology.
If we have a guide that shows which products can give more savings, can give more energy efficiency to your household, then the awareness of the people on how to make their homes into energy efficient homes will be very effective.
My role as the maintenance department manager is to ensure that our machines are running and available when these are needed by the production people.
The big difference between contractor or consultants with ESCOs that ESCOs guarantee savings or they don't get paid.
In ESCOs, we offer services towards developing and designing energy efficiency projects. We're towards performance-based and also guaranteed optimization.
Energy efficiency is not all about new technology, but really the applicable one on specific establishment.
Net metering is one of the policy mechanisms or a policy that was introduced under Renewable Energy Act of 2008 to ensure the acceleration and development of renewable energy in the country and at the same time empower the customers.
I think it's also giving everyone a platform and an opportunity to participate in energy efficiency and sustainability. And EVs are one of the, that's a particular sector that allows people to participate and participate directly because transportation is part of everyone's daily life.
From the design conceptualization to the very sort of operations, being energy efficient is top of mind. For Surrender Retail, we considered an open mall setup so that we can take advantage of the natural light, a flow of natural air.
We are a non-stock, non-profit organization. We promote green buildings because we believe that it is one of the best cross-cutting tools in addressing climate change as well as the built environment.
It is economical because it reduces our energy costs, so we can generate savings. It is environmental because we get to reduce our greenhouse gas emissions and help combat climate change. And last, it is a strategy for energy management.
That's the first thing that we can do as a country, efficiency, as a group of people, group of individuals. Make sure that we use our energy resources efficiently and smartly. It's going to be a difficult journey, but if everybody works together, then we'll be able to get through this quite successfully.
We have such good scientists, researchers, engineers, and that is a talent that I think can bring alternative energy here. A new technology. We can invent our own or do our own research in.
Everyone has the power. You have the power because energy efficiency starts with you.
Everyone is called to take action on energy problems. We thank our resident expert, Energy Utilization Management Bureau Director Patrick Aquino, for sharing his insights on this truly urgent and crucial topic. And to those watching at home, whether online or on TV, we hope that the past 10 episodes of Emerging Energy have inspired you to join the efforts and conserve and efficiently use energy. This has been Antoinette Toss. Thank you so much for joining us on Emerging Energy on CNN Philippines.